Good afternoon, America. Welcome to Decision Making 2020. A lot of people this last week have had some decisions to make. They've seen something. They've seen something very bad. Something very bad wrong. And they had to decide, what am I going to do about it? Because it stirred up feelings. I know it stirred up feelings in me. Do the best I can to live a godly life. Read my Bible every morning, every night. A little 5-minute Bible study I do. Don't spend an hour a day in it like I should, or more. I have friends that do. I don't know what to say. I heard something. Somebody posted. Motorcycle rider. I know a few of them too. I know some Christian motorcycle riders. And I know some outlaws. This post came from an outlaw. And he said, when all we had was the body cam or the footage from the people at the scene, we had something that as a country we could have got together behind, crossed over all political lines, and put a stop to something that needs to be stopped. Police brutality. It's a problem. If it happens at all, it's like a death. It's too frequent. It should never, ever happen. Not even once. I'm a victim of police brutality. For you California subscribers, you know where Festive Island is. I'm out there selling cars. Back about 3-6 months after the Rodney King ordeal. And we're having a few beers around the bonfire. I didn't know there was a no driving law on that island from 4:30 to 6:30. I believe they got a naval base out there. San Diego, Festive Island. Well, they checked my ID. They stopped me. And when I say they, there was about 12, 14 of them. And the one guy's about 6'8". He took my license. He looked at it. And he said, and this is where you live now? I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, here you go. And as I reached for my license, he dropped it. Said, oops, sorry. When I reached down to pick it up, this officer, about 6'4", was going for a 75-yard field goal. And he kicked me right square in the face. And they beat on me, the 14 of them, for the next 10, 15 minutes. Seemed like about 20 hours. I was peeing blood for 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. I was separated from my wife at the time. I called her up, hadn't talked to her in 2 or 3 months. Said, this is the holding station I'm at. I had a couple cousins at that time that were law enforcement in Michigan. I said, if you don't ever hear from me again, tell my cousin this is a holding station I'm at so he can do his investigation and find my body. Because these guys beat me up so bad. I didn't think they was done. I just thought they were taking a break. And I'd have to go another round. And I knew I wouldn't survive another round. They didn't come in for the second round, thank God. But the first round was bad enough. And the guy said we had something that would cross over political lines and finally get something done positive that needs to be done. And it was all good till the first rock was thrown. Now, when you turn your frustration, you turn your anger sideways, and you lose your temper, you're just like a piece of steel. Steel is strongest when it's tempered. And your temper is a good thing. Your rage is a good thing. That's your passion. But a lot of people don't know that as an individual, when you lose your temper, you lose control. When a piece of steel loses its temper, it becomes very weak. It's like a brittle piece of wood or flimsier. A lot of people don't know that. Your temper's good, but don't lose it. You lose your temper, you lose your strength. You have to keep it under control. I'm glad I wasn't there that night. I'd have went to jail for interfering with an arrest. I've always made fun of that picture with the camel, with the kid's head in his mouth. You can't see nothing but this kid from the neck down, okay? And the caption on it says, camel tries to eat your child. A, help your child. B, take a picture. I'm an A personality, okay? I had a fire one time in my motel. My cat comes rearing up and jumps on my face and starts like she's milking my cheeks. And she wakes me up. I got a live flame going. My air conditioner had froze up, water dripped down onto the socket, and we got live flames now going, okay? This is like 3 a.m. in the morning. I look, and there's my golf club sitting like a foot from the flames. I grabbed my golf clubs, I threw a towel on the fire, then I went and got the fire extinguisher, made sure it was out. Now, a friend of mine said, your cat woke you up from a fire and saved your life? Did you take a picture? I said, well, no, there was a fire. Why do people take pictures? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that person was filming. But folks, there had to be 10, 15 people there that were not filming. We got 4 cops killing one guy. 15, 20 people can stop that. I guarantee you if there was 4 of me there, or me and I've got 1 or 2 friends in mind. I got my best friend that's dead. Now, me and David was there. That wouldn't have went down that way. Okay, he'd still be alive. It's okay to get violent. Throw rocks. Use clubs when you see a police officer killing someone. But not against buildings. Don't tear down businesses. Over in St. Paul, we lost 170 businesses in one night. Better than 70% owned by blacks, black Americans, black patriots that work hard, that have saved their whole life. And these rotten insurance policies, I think just about every stinking one has got a riot clause in it, which says they don't cover any riot damage. So these people that haven't figured out that if you lose your temper, you lose control, because walking up to someone else's business and smashing out the windows and stealing all their stuff is lost control, unless you're just an evil person. And the evil people twisted Donald Trump's tweets around. He said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. He was referring to the 17 people that was injured by gunfire. Now, they didn't start popping people in the crowd, and these are people that are looting. You got in my way for that TV, so you get shot. There was a handicapped woman in a wheelchair that was blocking an exit that they were looting a Target. She was physically attacked, beaten, sprayed with a fire extinguisher. She was almost killed. How low can you go? This is not something Mr. Floyd would have done. Mr. Floyd was into helping the youth create a better life for himself. He was a decent man. The guy that killed him? Not so much. They knew each other. They worked together 10 years at the same nightclub. Why they didn't come up with murder one, I'll never know. I'm starting to hear rumblings that he was in the police car and they took him out of the back seat and put him on the ground. If that's the case, and that there's body cam, there should be body cam on that cop, okay? If he took him out of that squad car and put him on the ground and killed him, he needs the death penalty, period. Nothing less. I don't want life imprisonment. I don't want to feed that sucker. Some of you that follow me know I choose not to pay taxes because of the abortion issue. I don't want any of my tax money going to kill your baby. No, won't do it. I'll let them come after me for tax evasion. At least I'm not killing babies. Okay? That's the way that goes. There's right and there's wrong. Okay? You can't sit there and watch somebody. After he passed out the last 3 minutes, I couldn't have stood there. There's no way on earth I could have stood there. I'd have gone to jail. And if there's 2 or 3 other people there like me, we would have stopped that shit. I mean, crap. And he'd still be here. But the reports I'm getting is that they covered up the crime scene. They tampered with the crime scene. They tampered with evidence. This guy needs to go down on so many different charges. It's not funny. I'm glad they left it open. And they need to make every single one of them stick. And if they can prove that back in Houston, he was an officer transferred up here 10 years ago from Houston. The poor victim, Mr. Floyd, came up here from Houston as well 2 years ago. If they have a past, if 11, 12 years ago, the murderer has arrested the victim, he needs death penalty. It needs to be murder one, and we don't need to feed him another bologna sandwich. For all you folks out there, I can say from experience, the police do make mistakes, because I have spent overnight or a day or so in the Hennepin County Jail myself. Now, it was a police mistake, and I've forgiven them for it, so we're not even going to get into it. But I can guarantee you this. That officer has his own cell, and he's eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He gets 2 pieces of bread and a slice of bologna. No mustard. They look at you like you just slapped their mama if you ask them if they have mustard. I said, what? I just asked for mustard. It's a mistake. I'm in here. You guys still don't get it, but you will in the next couple hours. In the meantime, I'd like a little Grey Poupon. Just kidding. But he's not even getting mustard on his bologna. My problem is if I think what happened in my mind, I'm not even going to share it live until after the investigation. I've already said that there was a blood alcohol content involved here, and they haven't reported that. I knew that was coming. I could see from the video. That's how come I also knew there was no resistance. I've been in his condition. When you're in his condition, you're a tame puppy, okay? And in his condition with the handcuffs on, he's lucky he didn't pee himself. I mean, there was no resistance there, okay? I want body cams. I want all the officers' body cams. I want to see what happened. And I want, if they've got a prior together down in Houston, this guy needs a chair. I don't want to give him no more bologna sandwiches. I don't even want to give him the bread. Okay? He don't deserve to take another breath. He's a murderer. And he used his badge to do it. Now, I like one of the people I subscribe to on YouTube is Officer Tatum. Young black gentleman. Seems pretty well-rounded. He's a Christian. He makes up for in his spiritual knowledge what he lacks in his book knowledge. Ex-police officer. Very level-headed. And he's been doing a good job of covering this. I got lucky. I happened to be out here visiting my children. I'm right in Minnesota. I'm on ground zero. I was under curfew last night. They shut us down in Anoka County from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. this morning, same with tonight. After curfew, there's no driving. If you're caught driving without going to your job, you're getting a ticket. They're real strict about this. We got Black Lives Matter rolling into Chaska today. They're starting up a thing at 2 o'clock. That's George Soros' group. He funds them and Antifa, which is where at the Trump rally here in Minneapolis, the girl got blindsided by the guy that was walking with her boyfriend. Antifa didn't slug her boyfriend in the face. He walked up from behind her and punched her in the face. She never even seen it coming. These are George Soros' people. Black Lives Matter is a selling point. It's their banner. It means absolutely nothing. Black lives don't matter, or they'd be at Planned Parenthood. Black Lives Matter has never been outside of one Planned Parenthood. All they do is go to Republican conventions and gatherings and create problems. They're troublemakers. Everybody George Soros pays for is troublemakers. I believe a lot of the buildings that burnt down, 2 or 3 of them came from George. Everybody flocks to where there's a problem, okay? I'm really glad I didn't know Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton was here, because I'd have went down and had a little talk with Al, like, where's your girlfriend? You know, the one that got raped? Oh, I mean the one that didn't get raped? How you doing on your taxes, Al? You had 7 or 8 million now that you owe the tax. How many times did you have dinner with Obama at the White House? And you know, you owe how many million in taxes? Yet Willie Nelson had to give 20 free concerts. Now, they got the 2 million from Willie Nelson in 2 concerts, but he did 20 for the IRS to cover his debt. Al Sharpton ain't never covered his, yet he gets invited 7, 8 times to the White House for dinner with President Obama. Obama likes guys that don't pay their taxes, obviously. Invites him to dinner more times than he did his own brother. His own brother only got invited to the White House once in 8 years. Al Sharpton was there 8 times. That's like once a year. Are you kidding me? Pay your taxes. I bet you Obama never once told Al, did you bring a check? Are you going to take care of the taxes that you're behind on? When are you going to take care of that, Al? Bet you that was never in the conversation. But yet he'll come out here and he'll create havoc. He'll get people riled up. He'll get people rioting. And he'll make money off this. And that's all he is, a money sucker. He's a con man. You know, he used to be friends with Trump. Now that he hates Trump, Trump tells him to his face, we all know you're a con man. Folks, stay away from the Twin Cities. Pray for the Twin Cities. I was blessed during this whole thing. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to drop it. The mayors between Minneapolis and St. Paul, day and night. I ain't saying that because the retard running Minneapolis is white, and the educated mayor of St. Paul that you can tell by listening to, very educated, happens to be black. That's not what I'm saying day and night. Why I'm saying day and night is because Minneapolis comes out for the first 2 days and says, it's okay to burn down buildings and trash things. We understand. We know how you feel. We know you don't trust the police. That's okay. You don't have to. You can stone them and throw bricks at them. St. Paul, on the other hand, is, for the last 8 hours, I've been on the phone with over 1,400 high-profile leaders around our communities, over 200 of which came from religious backgrounds. We're putting up a curfew. He says the curfew goes on at 8 o'clock. It runs until 6. That's from tonight until next week. Until we can get a handle on things. In the meantime, I need everyone's help. In your own home, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, if you could please join me in prayer. Pray for our cities, pray for our leaders, pray for the family of Mr. Floyd and his loved ones. Help lift this community back up. Pray for us to get back on our feet. In your own religion, in your own way, in your own home. I would sure appreciate it. But he asked for prayer over 6 times. And he said it's not okay to burn the thing down. It's not okay to throw stones. We know you're upset and angry. Everyone is. But there's a right way and a wrong way to handle it. And we're not going to do this. And to see the differences, if I was to ever move back out to this area, I would darn sure be staying in St. Paul. Because I don't know if somehow they snuck a Republican in there or if I just met the first Democrat that I love. But to hear this man just earnestly plead for prayer and support and helping him bring his community back together with God's help and with everyone's help was the most refreshing thing I've seen in this whole crisis. Thank God for godly men. I'm glad they're in leadership. We need them. Pray for our leaders. Pray for our president. Pray my brain don't explode here, because the more bad things I hear, it's hard, I tell you. Sometimes I wish I wasn't as sharp on things as I am. Then I wouldn't notice them. Then they wouldn't bother me. But I notice stuff. I still want to know if they have a past. If he's ever arrested him in Houston, I don't want him getting no more baloney. We need to expedite this. Have a blessed day. If you have any questions for me as to what's going on and who's doing what in the local area, just leave it in the comments section. I'll get on it, get back to you, do some due diligence. A little bit more painting to finish up on today. Got to do the trim now, second coat. We got the first coat, main color, done yesterday and today. Now we're going to go out and hit the brown. And going to spend the day tomorrow with my oldest daughter. I haven't gotten to spend enough time with her. I think she's my favorite. I miss her. And it's her husband's birthday, so I guess they're getting together. And she said, I'm not going to invite you to my husband's birthday party because you and me both know you'll probably offend half his friends. You wouldn't mean to, of course, but you would. I'm in Minnesota. It's awful liberal here. And I wear my Trump hat everywhere but here at my buddy's house, who is a never Trumper who asked me not to wear it. So, because I got a beautiful lake home here, I love my brother to death. Even though he hates Trump, I still love him, and I don't want to offend him. I think it was Paul that says, if it causes my brother to stumble, if I eat meat, I won't eat meat. Yep. Have a blessed day. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I can't go on Facebook. I'll be 3-4 months, maybe 6 in jail. I've already spent 2 months in there, and I'm just too heated on this stuff. Sorry if I've rambled. Thanks for sharing time with me. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Again, like, share, and subscribe.